One of the most exciting sectors in the Indian economy and an area that India is showing a great deal of technological prowess besides anything else is the auto sector. We're joined by a very special guest, Dr. Anish Shah with us. Mahindra, very much a leader in India in so many spaces. The big buzz in Davos for the last several years, in fact, has been EVs, electric vehicles. That's an area you've invested a great deal. Could you share with us the interest that you see in Mahindra in the EV space when you come here and speak to people over here?
So EV clearly is for the future, and we've got an outstanding platform. So the interest in Mahindra has been not just at Davos, but over the last couple of years. We've had a number of investors actually approach us wanting to invest in our platform. It has been benchmarked against some of the best in the world and stands out far ahead. So we're waiting for our EVs to launch. I've driven 3 of the 5 born electric SUVs that we're going to launch, and they're wonderful. And they should be launched later this year. We promised December 24. We're on track for that, maybe slightly ahead. So stay tuned for that.
No, absolutely we will. You, of course, do have excellent diesel engines as well, which you've refined, petrol engines. When do you make a larger, or when do you see India, the Indian market, make a stronger transition to EVs in terms of percentage of sales?
It starts with products. So as we come up with our SUVs, we're confident that there will be a much stronger push towards EV. The second step will be infrastructure. To start with, people who can charge at home will buy EVs because we will not have an infrastructure that can support it. And as we get more cars on the road, the infrastructure will start growing as well. So it is a journey, but it is a journey that I think will happen rapidly. We expect about 30% of our production to be EVs in 27, about 3 years from now, and we expect about 50% by 30. By 30, we should be making 1 million EVs, many for markets outside India as well.
One of the concerns has been on range that's associated with batteries which are available. Particularly in our hot, humid conditions, range becomes a bit of a concern. Are you satisfied with the pace at which battery technology is developing?
From a range standpoint, there are no issues anymore. So the EVs that we have will have sufficient range. We are putting in some of the latest technology in batteries as well, and that helps both from a range standpoint and a safety standpoint.
What about costs to make EVs more easily available to the common person?
Cost needs to be somewhat at par with ICE. It cannot be significantly higher, and that's what we are working towards. So it's about the entire package, because someone buying a car is going to look at the design, how it rides, the features in the car, the cost, all of those factors. So that's something we are very conscious of, and based on where we are, and frugal engineering has been one of our strengths, along with very high quality, we should be able to deliver something to the consumer that they actually really like.
Safety is also obviously a concern across your platforms. Could you tell us about how certain aspects of EVs which require additional safety steps is something that you focused on very closely as well?
So safety is number one for us. Safety comes first. Everything else is later. And for us, the latest battery technology was important. It is LFP, which is lithium ferrous phosphate. And the way it is packaged, the way it is protected, will ensure safety at a very, very high level. And that's something that we actually started with, saying, let's ensure that there is no issue from a safety standpoint. And our teams have done a very good job in ensuring that.
We are finally seeing safety standards being implemented in India quite strongly. You've had very good reviews and ratings over there. Could you share with our viewers a little bit about your thoughts on the importance of these safety standards and how Mahindra is doing?
So safety standards, again, I think is critical, because even without standards, OEMs should have a very, very high standard for safety, because consumers have to be protected first. And therefore, we have always welcomed safety standards. We've stayed at the highest level. We've always strived for a 5-star safety rating, and have got it for almost all our vehicles now. And therefore, it's one that is the most important for us. Mahindra stands for safety. And yes, we stand for many other things, but that comes after safety.
A larger question on the group, the focus over here in Davos has also been sustainability. How is that a core issue and agenda for the Mahindra Group across all your businesses?
So Mahindra has been a leader in that. We began our sustainability efforts in 2008, well before it became a headline for everyone. We were among the first to sign up for science-based targets in 2014. About 14 of our businesses signed up for that. We have achieved 95% energy productivity, and this is something that was highlighted at Davos, even at the International Business Council at the World Economic Forum. And that is a stupendous achievement. What that really means is that we're using half the energy that's required for the same level of output.
Right.
And that has been done by our teams who've done 3,600 projects over that time period. So it's not one big effort, you do this and you're done. It's a series of efforts, and therefore the culture in the company has been to embrace sustainability and ensure that from a climate change standpoint we are one of the leaders. At the World Economic Forum we are recognized as one of the leaders as well. In a number of areas we are leading alliances, we are part of the First Movers Coalition, a founder member there, and are really part of the thought leadership in driving sustainability. One of the newest initiatives we are launching is also around green buildings. We've launched a couple of residential net zero communities in India, and this is again an innovation that will really transform buildings and create a much better environment for combating climate change.
We've both been to Davos now for quite a few years. I've had the opportunity of interviewing you in the past as well. What's the big change over here? Is there a change from an India standpoint?
There is a much greater focus on India, and that's something we've seen over the years. There was something which started last year and this year has been continuing. Everyone's asking about India. Folks who are in India, how do we expand more? Folks who are not in India, I've met with a very large number of global CEOs over the last 4 days, and that's something that's top of mind for them. And I think the government has done a very nice job in ensuring ease of business and being able to attract investors to come into India. And I think that's something is very essential for Make in India, the vision that's there, and to be able to achieve the Viksit Bharat goals that the Prime Minister has set out. So on all of those fronts, I think things are moving really well, and that augurs extremely well for India and its economy.
What were some of the questions these global CEOs were asking you about India? What is their area of specific interest? Just the overall story or opportunities or what?
So the questions were first, what has really changed? And they would essentially start with saying that, look, we are seeing a lot more positivity. Our teams are telling us things are moving better. Everything we are seeing looks very good. But what has really changed? Second is it easy to do business there? And I think that's something that always has been on the minds of people. And third is, how do we expand further? What are the lessons that you would give us in terms of how we should operate in India?
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Shah, very much for speaking to us. There you have it, Dr. Anish Shah, telling us a little bit about Mahindra's key EV focus going forward. There should be some exciting new cars, EVs, released very, very shortly. But also the India story over here, which remains a huge draw, and the reasons for that being the case.